Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Glad to have you here chatting a little bit of Raid with me. Sending some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them. Today, a little love for you. Today, I'm in a great mood because I took my son. We did a little day trip today. I Googled like the top 10 abandoned areas near me.
Where did you find that kind of courage?
I don't know if that's a good or a bad dad move, but you know, I apologize if you think it's a bad one. But we discovered like some really cool, creepy areas. One was an abandoned revolutionary fort that was massive. There was nobody there except for me and my son. Again, a little creepy, but it was awesome to explore. Kind of like a Goonies adventure. I'm going through one of these phases where I'm showing my son like all my favorite movies growing up, and I'm a big Goonies fan. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing either, but we went on a Goonies adventure. So we did that, and then we went to like this old eccentric like millionaire from back in the early 1800s, some early industrial tycoon. He had this like these big stables and abandoned obviously now, in a big mansion that's all overgrown in like the middle of the woods. It was wild and so cool. So that was my day. I'll try to remember to post some pictures for you guys up here as well. Hopefully you're all doing great also. Today we're gonna talk about arena nukers, and I'm gonna try to make this a fairly fast video, not just talk super in depth about every single nuker, because I do want to show you kind of my favorite nukers right now, the end in the arena. I think I'm in platinum. Here I am. It's right before reset. I'm probably recording this a couple days in advance for you guys, so I'm not going to stay up late enough to actually finish, but I like to pretend I do and actually play a lot of arena on Sundays. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys who I think are the top 15 meta arena champions right now. I'll probably do a follow-up video sharing some of my favorite off-meta arena champions, ones that you don't see a lot, but are really great nukers in their own right. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get to the list here. And let's start out with probably number 1, the best nuker in the game, or certainly top 5, right? There's not going to be no particular order on these champions, but I will point out the top 5 as I go through them, in my opinion. Champions that I see, like, everybody who owns them probably has them on their main team. Taurus the Fierce. He's unbelievable. He smacks so freaking hard. He is fierce, man. He's broken. He's one of the most OP champions in the game. He's the best by a mile HP nuker in the game, obviously, if he's number 1 overall, right? But you don't see HP-based nukers who hit like he does, and he has some amazing passives. Again, I'm not going to go through the entire kit here, but all incoming damage from skills is reduced by 50%. Okay. I mean, he's a monster. He got a 2-turn stun too. Yeah, he scares the daylights out of me every time I go against him in the arena. He's got a lot of base defense too, so he's tough to take down on top of everything else. He's not a squishy nuker. So, man, oh man, he's unbelievable. Let's just cover the top 5 in no particular order on the top 5 here, but in my opinion, these are the strongest in the game. And what am I doing here? Undead Horde. Let's talk about Rotos, man. Rotos, he would probably be number 1 in the game, or really close to, if it wasn't for Ultimate Death Knight, who counters Rotos teams, generally speaking.
You're like a well-dressed wall.
But the cool thing is Rotos counters Warlord and Yumeko teams, which is really good because he has really short cooldowns on his abilities. He has a 3-turn here on his really big, hard-hitting ability, Fated Destruction. Make sure you're building your Rotos if you're lucky enough to have him. I know there was a 10 times chance, so if any of you guys pulled him, make sure you're prioritizing HP on your accessories. It's a great way to get HP flat stat because HP does not scale very well, and his HP has a lot to do with his overall damage that he's putting out, okay? Anyway, 3-turn cooldown here on Fated Destruction, gets an extra turn if it kills an enemy, which it usually does, and then a 2-turn cooldown on his A2 ability. So again, it's a good option for a Warlord and Yumeko team if you see them, and he's a great option just anywhere, even if he's not with Siphi. If he's with Siphi, even better, it's going to cleanse him every single time before he takes his turn. So very good champion, incredibly hard-hitting, one of my favorites in the game in Rotos. Let's go right back to Demon Spawn, guys, or let's go to Demon Spawn, excuse me. Mortu-Macaab. Do you guys want me to make a standalone video on Mortu-Macaab? I have an incredibly strong Mortu-Macaab who I could highlight for you guys. Maybe I'll do it at the end of this video. I'll do like one arena battle. But Mortu right now in this defense-based meta, I should say in this go second-based meta right now, Mortu is incredible. You build him slow. You build him in a stone skin set for 2 turns, 6-piece. as much crit damage, as much HP as you can possibly get with 100% crit rate, and you just wait for him to peril the enemies and cancel their revival. That's basically it. But definitely, probably the most common champion that I see. Ultimate Death Knight and Mortu-Macaab are probably the champions that I see the most overall in the arena. And as I mentioned, I've been spending a lot of time in the arena lately. So Mortu, Taurus, Rotos. Let's talk about Nutcracker, right? Nutcracker is so good. If people have him, again, they're probably running him. Incredible damage. I haven't seen anything like this. 50% chance to ignore 50% or 50% of the target's defense. Each hit placed by this champion's skills. So he's got like a built-in savage helm smasher, kinda. And then you add that to 100% potential on ignore defense. He's incredible. He's got this ability here that ignores even stone skin, everything. It does like 200, 300k plus damage. It's bonkers. It's crazy. Without even debuffs, without decreased defense. He's a new level of attack-based nuker in this game. There's no doubt about it. And then a 30% turn meter reduction that can't be resisted on his A2, sure. And it also does incredible damage. He's definitely top 5. So I have one more here in my top 5. I get Mortu Taurus. You know who I'm going to give it to, guys? I want to kind of go Baron because that's my guy. But I'm going to go with a champion that I don't have, but I wish I had, and it's Hermina. Hermina is incredible, man. She is so freaking good, so hard-hitting.
Whatever happened to her? She colonized life on Venus. She died, you idiot.
You get this AoE Provoke. This debuff cannot be blocked or resisted if the champion is from the Demon Spawn faction. It's nice because, again, there's so many Duchesses out there. There's so many Candraphons out there. There's so many Mortu-Macaabs out there. Obviously, Hefrak. There's a lot of Demon Spawns, right? So, really cool. Provoke, but this Celestial Awe hits so hard, man. So freaking hard. So, really good ability. A triple hitter here. Instantly activate Celestial Awe if this skill kills an enemy. Ouch! I hate going against Hermina. Look at her defense, guys. 1531. It scales so incredibly easily. And then enemy ignore defense effects are decreased by 50% on Demon Slayer passive. There it is, guys. That's my top 5 nukers in the game, in no particular order. Now let's get to the next 10, but all of these champions are incredible as well. So I have a tie here. Of course, top 16, but 15 sounded better. It's Solus, who's still really good, right? He's got this AoE, increase the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn, plays a provoke on enemies for 1 turn, a shield on himself, damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target, and there's so many just like really strong teams that can one-shot your attack-based nukers out there. It's nice to have a really tanky nuker, such as a few of the ones that we mentioned here so far. He has a triple hitter with Provoke as well on his Wave of Despair, his A2 ability. The tie with Solus is going to be another defense-based nuker. Now, we talk about Solus, we talk about, let me actually just pull him up here. Saltus, Dragonbane, excuse me. Dragonborn, Dragonbane, I forgot for a second, trying to buy time here. Saltus, Dragonbane. We had Hermina, and then we have Solus. Those are the best 3 defensive-based nukers for my money in the game right now. What's cool about Saltus is that he has, well, first of all, he has a 2-time hitter with a stun, 65% chance on a 3-turn cooldown on his A2. But then he's a defense-based nuker, unlike Hermina and Solus, who's actually bringing increased defense on himself, right? Then he's attacking all enemies after it's placed, ergo improving his damage without having to have an increased defense champion on the team. So you can run him with champions like, a Duchess or something like that, not have to worry about not having increased defense alongside him. So very hard-hitting champion, obviously on top of all of that. So Saltus definitely makes the list for me. Now let's talk about some of the other best of the best here. And let's go ahead and talk about Leo. Leorius the Proud is amazing. First of all, he's immune to all the CC debuffs when this skill is not on cooldown. He has this awesome roar ability, which does awesome damage. And then he's placing the Weaken as well and True Fear. So a great chance, 50-50 chance for them to lose their turn under True Fear and increase the cooldown or max out the cooldown of that skill they were going to use. A very good ability and just tons of damage here, right? And then he has the True Grit. It's the unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn before receiving a fatal hit, similar to a Skull Crown. He's definitely one one of the most used nukers out there, and for good reason. He's very, very good. All right, next up is going to be an old school, but still one of the best nukers in the game. It's Trunda Guilt Mallet. I can't take her off the list. I don't see that much Trunda, I'm going to be honest with you guys, but she's still all over the place in Gold 4. She's one of the best campaign farm, or not campaign, arena, Great Hall farmers in the game. She's still the queen of overall just raw damage on this Forge Rhythm ability. And then this is one of the heaviest hitters in the game, Cloak of Ages, especially on that first hit. Then it attacks all other enemies with the second hit, dealing 60% of the damage. So Trunda, and again, she has 23k almost HP. That should be illegal to have that much HP on an attack-based nuker. That's insane. Very, very good champion. I'd recommend building her with low accuracy. That way you can get that double hitter instead on the A3, especially for the arena. Obviously, that would not pertain to some PvE areas such as Spider, right? If you want that stun. I only have 2 epics on my list, and you guys, some of you guys might be like, dude, really, Ash? Really trying to get cute here? Nah, I really mean it. Gala Longbraids. There's a couple people in top platinum, not on defense, and you wouldn't know it from just looking at the top arena leaderboards. That's why it can be deceptive. Keep in mind, that's all defense-based teams, you know? Gala Longbraids, dude, on offense, a lot of people are starting to use her even at the top of the game. She's incredibly good. Sheer swagger. She has full HP. She gets the extra turn. 25% of the target's defense on each hit. She comes back around and hopefully kills somebody with fearless aggression. They're both very hard-hitting abilities, guys. She's got the heal. She's got the shield on herself. You set her up, though, in a bolster set on another champion on the team. So that way she starts the game with, or the round with a shield. So Gala Longbraids, man, I've gotten smoked by a Gala Longbraids a couple times on defense. And every time I'm like, wait a second. Gala Longbraids? And now I'm kind of hip to the game. Hefrak. Hefrak is a beast, right? He's got the, whenever an ally is killed, instantly activates Hefrak Scorn, will not put the skill on cooldown. Hefrak Scorn is a attack all enemies, plays an extra hit on targets with less than 50% HP after the first hit. Each hit ignores 15% of the target's defense. What? Dude. It's insane that that's an instant activation. You see the Hefrak cheese teams out there, guys? Just like a random food champion or a low-level champion on the team. Their only role is to die just so he can nuke them, come back around, take his A3 ability, get an extra turn, increase attack, increase crit rate, and then boom, you land it again because it's not being put on cooldown after somebody dies. Yeah, it's a really special combination, a very special champion. Next up is Candraphon. Candyman's still on the list. Here's a guy who's been on the list for quite a while, but remember back when he was like the worst legendary in the game? Anybody playing back then? He had a massive buff. He has a self-buffing ability as well, right? But he has this very hard-hitting Butcher's Glee ability, which will reset the cooldown of On the Hunt so he can self-buff himself on that A3. He also, on Punish Hubris, is A1, one of the hardest-hitting abilities, A1s in the game, right? On the passive, start with the bottom here, the active effect. Plays a perfect veil on this champion for 1 turn each time an enemy's turn meter is filled. This buff cannot be removed. Then when he's under that perfect veil, he's going to boost his turn meter by 15%, right? He's also going to increase the damage by 40% and decrease incoming damage by 40%. That's nasty, man. He's one of the best go second attack-based nukers you can have in the entire game, especially because of that passive. You're putting that perfect veil on and boosting his turn meter right away because almost every team, whether it's a Siffy or an Arbiter or whatever, has some sort of a turn meter boost on it, right? So very, very good against those squads. All right, guys, I'm going to eat massive crow on this champion. And Rotos the Bloodtwin is really good right now, man. He's on one of my main arena teams. I'm going to show you that team here. I run Mortu and Rotos together, and Rotos is really good. And I slept on this guy. I hated on this guy for so long. That's why I need to make a standalone video apologizing and showing him off.
I'll never forgive this.
Basically, his claim to fame is his final doom ability, right? Enemies killed by this champion cannot be revived, straight up. No other champion in the game has that on everything, right? Constantine has like something semi-similar, but it's only certain factions or only when Vlad is on the same team, right? But just Rotos just has it straight up. Hard-hitting A1, very hard-hitting A1. I think a 3.8 multiplier on that. And then No Mercy, pretty hard-hitting, but it's a 3-hitter, right? Damage increases equal to the percentage of HP the target has lost. And then Tormenting Whispers, a pretty strong AoE attack. I think it's a 3.8 or a 4 multiplier on Tormenting Whispers. It got a buff to the multiplier on it, which is nice. And hey, listen, all you got to do is put him on a go second team, put attack percentage, it scales so well, attack percentage on his boots, 1729, one of the highest attacks in the game, and then put him in Savage, put him in Lethal, give him Helm Smasher, and just wait. Protect him with Bolster, protect him with a shield, right? And just wait. And there's so many revivers, Mighty, Uko, Duchess, Siphi, Marichka on her passive. There's so many revivers right now in the game. Pythion, right? He's everywhere too. You don't have to worry about revivers when you're blocking revive on every freaking ability, right? So Inithwi does make the list. All right, let's go to my man here, Baron. Baron's so strong. It's nice to see, honestly, these Void Legendaries. Some of you might complain, oh, there's so many Void Legendaries on the list. But part of me is happy that these champions who used to be kind of like crappy, like Baron, right? Like Inithwi, right? They're actually really good. Because you want a Void Legendary when you pull it, you want it to be good, right? You don't want to be like, oh, Inithwi, Baron. You want to be excited, you know? So I'm glad they're good. Sky Piercer ignores 50% of target's defense. That's all I have to say about that, you know? Righteous Charge also does a ton of damage. He's really good on a team, a Go Second team again, right? And that Go Second is the meta right now. He's really good because you put a bunch of buffers and support champions around him, and damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. So Righteous Charge can deal a ton of damage, guys. So really, really good ability here as well. All right, I said there was 2 epics on the list, guys. Not to mention, by the way, real quick, the surplus damage on that A1, if you're going against like a faster team or a squishier team, you kill somebody, sometimes you can just kill everybody just with his A1 ability, right? Pretty cool. So against a fast like Warlord team, you put his skills on cooldown, who cares? Kill them all anyway, right?
It looks like we're tracking a serial killer.
Okay, I got one more before I give you the epic. One more. Cupidus. So Cupidus in Stone Skin especially, there's 2 ways to run him, right? With a lot of support around him in Savage or Lethal. With Venus on the same team, ideally, because you want him to counterattack on every hit. So he's kind of should have been an honorable mention. Maybe I should have put Errol in instead of him. Because it really, for me, for him to be considered a top 10, top whatever, 15 arena nuker, you really do want to have Venus on the same squad. Not to say he's bad in his, without her, he's not. But you're also getting out of Venus this ability. Remove all buffs from all enemies, 50% chance of granting an extra turn. So when you have them together, you have a buff stripper, and then you have counterattack every single time he's hit. For my money, right up there with Rotos and Siphi in terms of the best kind of tandem champions in the game. Always counterattacks when Venus is on the same team, and he has an AoE, a hard-hitting AoE on his A1. It's crazy. Anyway, so Cupidus does make the list. There's the other way to build him is in Stone Skin. Cupidus with attack percentage on his boots and really slow, and just let him take his time counterattacking every time. Super slow in the arena, and he'll usually kill everybody before he even has his Stone Skin off because of all the counterattacks. So really, really cool way to build Cupidus. He's still on the list, in my opinion. I already said Trunda, right? Yeah, we talked about Trunda. Okay, the last one is, you call me crazy here, guys, but even over Alil, no offense, Alil. I'm joking. I don't think Alil's that good. Even over Corrado, because Corrado is slept on, I'm telling you guys. It's actually Genbo. It really is. Genbo the Dishonored, he's just like a really special epic champion, There's a lot of good epic nukers, like Magnar and stuff like that, Skullcrown. I can go on and on, right? But Genbo the Dishonored, first of all, he's got the extra turn self-buffing ability, extra crit rate, extra crit damage. That means you can build him with only 70% crit rate, which is amazing for the arena, right? Number 2 is he's immune to decreased attack, and he's ignoring unkillable while attacking under an increased attack. So you have like a Duchess setting him up, you have an Arbiter setting him up, you have a Gorgorab setting him up, right, with an increased attack, and he's gonna ignore unkillables, right? You don't have to worry about Swift Parry, not that that's really meta right now. You don't have to worry about Leos. You don't have to worry about Skull Crowns, He's gonna ignore it. Really, really nice to have. And then Heartless Blitz just does so much damage, and it has a 100% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs by 1 turn that cannot be resisted on critical hits. And he's void affinity, so no weak affinity matchups. I stand by it, man. I think that Genbo the Dishonored makes the list of top 15 arena nukers right now. And I forgot I was going to show you my arena team. I'm not going to show you everything I've been using, guys, but I will show you my favorite team right now. It's not this squad here. That would be like when I'm going against a really, really ultra nuky team, but it's rather the Inithwi Bloodtwin Mortu-Macaab with Marichka the Unbreakable and Duchess. Really, really love this team. I can't believe I've come full circle on Inithwi Bloodtwin. As I mentioned, I will I'll make a video on why I love this dude so much, but he's incredible, man. He's an incredible champion. So the cool thing about this team is we block revive on everything, on Mortu-Macaab and on Inithwi. I'm actually going to come in with the A3 ability here, so I can go in and not have that decrease attack on Inithwi Bloodtwin. So we'll see what he can do against Duchess here. Ooh, so close.
Immortality.
Soul Reap, block revive. So cool how his block revive works on Soul Reap as well, because it's off of his passive. Sometimes block revive ability says if this hit kills somebody, the enemy cannot be revived. If it's on this hit, it won't be the hit killing them, it will be the Soul Reaper killing them. But anybody killed by this enemy cannot be revived off the passive of Inithwi. It works with Soul Reaper. So again, really, really cool combo there. Absolutely love this team. We're going against another Mortu, but again, we have 2 block revivers on our squad. They only have 1, and it's as easy as that. So this is my favorite team that I'm running right now. I want to go ahead and just see what other nukers we see here and see if my list is pretty accurate in Platinum on reset day. We have Mortu-Macaab, we have Leo, we have another Inithwi here. Hey, the Battle of Inithwis, let's do it. Let's do it. We got Mortu as well, right? We got Mortu. Hegemon, not that great right now in the game. You don't see too much Hegemon on defense. And you saw how hard he hit Mortu-Macaab just on his regular AoE ability. We can come in here and cleanse everything off. There's so many cleansers right now with Pythions, and I mean, I could sit here all day naming everybody. But again, block revive on everybody, super easy. There's a lot of cleansers, Mithrala, right? Very popular. So with that being said, Hegemon isn't like it used to be. Hegemon and Torments, you don't find a ton of them anymore. Anyway, we have Taurus, Candyman, Harmina, Hefrak, Foley. Let's attack the Foley team. And then we'll call it a video. This is not meant to be an arena spotlight video, but I just wanted to share my favorite team right now. And the funny thing is you guys may be aware if you watch my shard pulling videos, we get a block revive on us there, so that's going to be interesting. But again, we have Mortu-Macaab, we should be absolutely fine. I pulled Nutcracker, right? Freaking love the champion, but I just love Inithwi so freaking much, right? On this particular squad that that I can't get away from, even though obviously Nutcracker's arguably better in a vacuum. But when you have a team like all built around blocking revivals like that, I just feel like they work really, really well in tandem together. I think Inithwi's incredible. Anyway, guys, we're going to end the video there for the second time. I'll probably cut the last sign off. What I did was I ended my previous video and I'm like, shoot, I said I was going to show them my main arena team right now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Appreciate you watching until the very, very end. And as always, take care, guys.